Thanks so much for being here, Janet. So I know you're from the Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario.
Got it.
And there's this great new campaign going on for suicide prevention. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're super excited because we see that this is a really unique opportunity to recognize that school bus drivers and school buses provide an awesome vehicle, I guess, pun intended in that regard, for providing excellent information around mental health awareness and resources for students within the school bus, and by providing some training to school bus drivers so that they can provide tools and resources to the students that they transport.
Yeah, it's so true. And like we said, it's a little bit groundbreaking. We haven't seen this before. So how did this all come about?
Well, when we connected with Angèle and the Mental Health Association, we thought, you know what, here's a unique environment. So you have a classroom which is a little bit more prescribed, and you've got an agenda associated with what happens in a classroom. So sometimes resources and information are received a little bit differently from students, and it's a great opportunity for students to get information. But here's a unique opportunity where we sort of connected and thought, well, what about utilizing the school bus as a place where we could house some information about mental health resources for students who are maybe disconnected from all of the noise of the school environment, different noise on a school bus granted, but a chance for students to be reflecting perhaps on the day to come or on the day that just transpired, and maybe reflecting on their own challenges, perhaps mental health challenges, and a really opportune time to provide some information in a poster format about resources that are available, which might reach them in a different way than it would in a traditional environment.
I think it's such a great initiative. And how do you think it's really going to help get the message across? And how important is that message to send to kids?
I think it's a key message, right? I mean, when we attend to the mental health of young people, ultimately we attend to the mental health of society as a whole, right? And so with anything, early intervention is always key to long-term success. And so here you have students of all ages riding on the school bus, right from your little kinders right up to folks who are looking at graduating. So if you can become familiar as a student with the resources that are available to you when maybe you're having a bit of a tough time, and when you start to see this messaging and there's resources available in a format that everybody accesses, they don't become quite as stigmatized. It becomes like, you know what, this is here for everybody, so maybe the fact that I need to access it means that I'm not abnormal, and that my struggles are really indicative of some of the struggles that maybe my friends and peers might be facing.
It's so true. It's such a genius campaign. And I know you also mentioned that some of the bus drivers are going to be trained. So how will that work?
Absolutely. So it's sort of making this a really holistic campaign. We've got the messaging, of course, available on school buses for students, but we recognize the important role that school bus drivers play in a student's life. We will often say they're the bookends to their day, sometimes with the first smiling adult face that a student will see in the morning, and the last face that they will see at the end of their school day before going home. So it's important for them too to understand some of the challenges that their students may be facing, and some of the signs that might be indicative of a greater problem and a need for an intervention. So we're going to work with our school bus companies and our amazing school bus drivers to provide them some training on suicide awareness, just so they know what to look for and they have an idea of some of the tools and appropriate interventions should they encounter a student who's having a bit of a hard time. And we're going to kind of take that to the next level to offer some training to them about their own self-care and their own mental health self-care, because of course, you know, this is a continuum, and it's a journey that begins when you're very, very young, right through the entirety of your life, and it's an ongoing challenge to keep your mental health in a good spot.
Wow, it's so amazing. And I mean, I know it's probably been such hard work to really bring this to life. And this is happening in this area, correct?
That's right. So STEO provides transportation for the Catholic District School Board of Eastern Ontario, as well as the Upper Canada District School Board. So we cover a wide geographic range. Our school buses travel about 120,000 kilometers a day, which is always a mind-blowing statistic. And we transport about 33,000 students. So it's a wide geographic range, but it's also an amazing opportunity to possibly reach a very, very large amount of students. And really, if you reach one, the program has been a success.
Great. Well, I do wish you all the success with this. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I do believe that you are making a difference. So thank you so much for being here today and for all that you do.
Thanks, Janet.